I've always been a fan of obscure anime. There's something about stumbling across a hidden gem that feels almost magical. So, when I seen a stack of anime DVDs at a garage sale, I couldn't resist digging through them. Among the cluttered collection of scratched discs and faded covers, one stood out, a copy of Girls' Last Tour. The DVD case was pristine, almost as it has been preserved intentionally. The cover art looked normal. Yuri and Cheeto sitting on their Kettenkrad amidst a bleak, snow-covered cityscape. But something about it felt off. The colors seemed just a shade darker than I remembered, and the eyes of the characters seemed to follow me as I tilted the case.
How much for this?
I asked the elderly man running the sale. He looked at the DVD and frowned. That one. Just take it. Someone left it here. Didn't even belong to me. I shrugged, figuring I scored a freebie, and took it home. Later that evening, I popped the DVD into my player. The menu loaded normally, with the melancholic theme music playing softly in the background. I clicked on the first episode, settling in for a nostalgic rewatch. But as soon as the episode began, I realized something was wrong. The opening sequence was silent. No music, no sound effects, just the visuals of Cheeto and Yuri driving through the desolate cityscape. Their faces were different, darker, more hollow, their eyes clouded with a milky white film. I felt a shiver crawl up my spine, but I told myself it was just some strange fan edit, maybe a bootleg copy. Then came the dialogue. It wasn't the playful banter I remembered. Instead, Cheeto spoke in a low, monotone voice.
The world has forgotten us.
Yuri's reply was garbled, as if her voice was being run through a broken radio. There is no escape. The animation, too, began to degrade. The crisp lines dissolved into a grainy, distorted mess. The backgrounds flickered, showing glimpses of things that shouldn't have been there. Pale faces with hollow eyes, and mouths agape, as if screaming in pain. I tried to stop the episode, but the remote didn't work. The player wouldn't respond either. The screen flickered, and suddenly, the episode jumped ahead. Cheeto and Yuri were standing at the edge of a dark chasm, both of them looking away from the camera.
Do you think they're watching?
Cheeto asked. They always watch, Yuri replied. Then they turned to face the screen. Their faces were no longer animated, but hyper-realistic, their cloudy eyes staring directly at me. A soft whisper began to emanate from the speakers, to faint to understand, but growing louder with each second. I scrambled to unplug the player, but even as I yanked the cord from the wall, the screen stayed on. The whisper turned into a scream. I don't remember how long I sat there, frozen in terror. When I finally came to, the screen was blank, the DVD player completely powered down. I ejected the disc and threw it into the trash, my hands trembling. But it didn't end there. That night I woke to the sound of static. My TV, which I hadn't turned on, was glowing faintly. On the screen was the Kettenkrad, slowly crawling across a snow-covered wasteland. Cheeto and Yuri sitting silently, their hollow eyes fixed forward. As I watched, they turned their heads, ever so slowly, to look at me. Join us, they whispered in unison. I smashed the TV that night, but it didn't help. Every screen I own, my phone, computer, even my microwave display, has started showing glimpses of them. Just for a second, but long enough to remind me that they are still there. I tried to throw the DVD away, but every time I do, it comes back. Lying on my desk, sitting on my shelf. Always there, pristine and untouched. I don't know how to get rid of it. And I don't know how much longer I can stand seeing their faces. If you ever come across a copy of Girls' Last Tour at a garage sale, do yourself a favor. Don't take it.